What is going on? We're back again with another video. In today's video, I asked AI to make some new card series in MLB The Show 25, and it actually came up with some pretty good ones, I'm not gonna lie. So let's just get right into this video. We're gonna start off with number 1, and it comes up with the Out of Nowhere series. So this is an interesting idea. It says the theme is a player who had an unexpected breakout season or playoff runs. Their example was Randy Rosarena and Jeremy Pena. Now this is definitely interesting. It says attributes, juice, postseason stats, low vision, high power, unique quirks, and then it gave some more examples. Actually, a pretty interesting concept. Kind of players that had just a breakout, like Randy Rosarena. I mean, he just literally came out of nowhere, but they kind of have breakout in the game as it is. I don't know, maybe this will be a cool series. I also asked it to make a graphic for it, and this is what it came up with. It is pretty interesting how AI is kind of making these cards. I mean, I think the face images are completely off, but it is kind of funny to look at. I think the design is cool. Obviously, AI doesn't know the game fully, but I definitely think it's a funny idea and concept. There's actually a lot of players who would fall into this category. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, there are a lot of players that had just a breakout season basically out of nowhere. Even what I could think about is Brett Phillips, you know, in the playoffs, right? When he was playing for the Rays in 2020. I mean, that walk-off he had was basically out of nowhere. I don't think anyone expected him to do that. So maybe that's an interesting concept you could put for him. But I think there are a lot of players that could fall into this category. Now moving over to the next one, we have the Rivalry Rewind series. Now this one says the theme is to highlight key players in the biggest historical rivalries. And it gives the example with the Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, Cardinals, and Dodgers, Giants. It says performance spikes against the rivalry team. And it says their unique perk is earns XP or stat boosts in online matches versus rival team users. Now I'm pretty sure this is an idea that's been in the past, honestly, or that has been in that survey that went out before 25 came out. Like, so if I had an Aaron Judge card, for example, and someone was using a Devers, then we'd both get a buff to our teams. Or if I had a Judge and their pitcher maybe was a Red Sox, if it was like a Garrett Crochet, for example, then we'd get a buff or something like that. This has definitely been thrown around, I'm pretty sure. But it's cool to see AI actually came up with this one. But yeah, I don't know if they'd ever do this, to be honest, because we do have like captains in the game. So maybe unless it's a captain bonus, you know, instead of having a certain amount of players on your team, maybe you need a certain amount of players plus someone got to have a rivalry card or something like that. Definitely an interesting concept for sure. Don't really know how well that'd be into the game, but definitely a rivalry series I think would be cool. I mean, with the whole rivalry weekend we just had, I mean, the program wasn't great in the game. I mean, we only had 2 Tops Now cards, so maybe next year they could do something a little bit better with rivalries in MLB The Show. But I still like this idea a lot. Now moving over to the next one, we have Childhood Heroes Fan Series. Now this one seems pretty cool. So they said the theme, SDS lets MLB community vote on cards based on their current MLB stars who was their hero growing up. Now that's a pretty cool concept. And then the example was Shohei Ohtani inspired by Ichiro, and then the Mookie Betts inspired by Ken Griffey Jr. So definitely an interesting concept. I think if this was actual series, I mean, they've done community votes in the past. I mean, look at the whole Color Storm series we just had. They pretty much let the community vote from 3 cards, and then we obviously picked one. So I definitely think it's a cool idea. I definitely think Derek Jeter would be up here for a lot of people, or Big Papi, right? I think those are pretty historic guys that would be up here, but there's definitely a lot they could do with a series like this. It'd definitely be pretty interesting to see if they'd ever bring something like this to the game. And I do think the MLB community votes have been really fun to engage with on social, so I do hope, you know, that comes back in another series eventually. Because for the Color Storm, it was pretty cool, and I think it'd be cool to have that back inside the game. So the next one we have is Gen Z Legends series. Now this is players who are under 25 who projected to be future legends. This is a blend of hype and data projections. Attributes built on StatCast X Zips project the stats from future years. And the card art style is a futuristic design with projection graphs in the background. Now this one is definitely an interesting one for sure. This could maybe be something we see. I don't know, it's kind of hard to predict what they're going to do, but definitely a series where players are under a certain age. I think that's definitely been at least a stat in the past. I know I think in 24 we had to get stats with players. I don't know if it was for finest, but we had to get stats for players who were under a certain age or over a certain age and all these different criteria, but that's definitely been a thing. Definitely an interesting series for sure. I definitely think this one could be good, especially with some of the younger players we're having in the game now. I mean, there's been a big rookie class this year, so I think a lot of them could fall into that category. But this would definitely be a fun idea to work with, and the futuristic background I think would be pretty interesting to see how that would work. We've never really had like a futuristic background in the show, I don't really think. Like, not that I can really think of, so definitely be interesting to see what we have here. Now the next one they have is Sunday Sandlot series. A fun styled card theme with backyard baseball / Sandlot vibes tapping into the 90s nostalgia. Now this is a really cool idea. They haven't really done a 90s program, I don't think. Not that I can remember, but I think this will be cool. It says classic MLB players but designed in a cartoon or childhood version. Art style like the Sandlot meets backyard baseball. So definitely some interesting ideas. I think this would be really cool to mess around with, especially early on in the game with some of these versions, because they can kind of do, I think, whatever with this game now. I mean, there's been so many different series and so many different genres of cards that they can make anything. And I think this would be possible. I don't know if they can make it, you know, with Sandlot or backyard baseball, because once again, the whole licensing thing, but definitely cool to have a backyard baseball theme of a card. I think that'd be a very interesting concept for a card in the show. I think this could be a more fun one too, which I think would be pretty cool. The next one on our list is Mic'd Up Moment series. So this is an interesting one. I don't know if I totally agree with this, but cards get tied to viral or legend moments where players have been mic'd up during games or practices. And the examples was Freddie Freeman mic'd up mid-at-bat, or Kiki Hernandez's mid-game analysis. So I don't know if they'd ever do this, to be honest. I feel like a lot of those would just be Tops Now cards, to be honest. I don't really see the need for this one totally, but I don't know, it's a funny concept, I'm not gonna lie. Now the next series they have is MLB The Show Legends. Now this is honoring players who have been fan favorites in Diamond Dynasty over the years, not just real life. I feel like this could work the way it's worded, and the examples was Finest 2018 Javi Baez, Signature Eric Thames was really good from 2017, or 2018 whenever he played, and then Home Run Derby Todd Frazier. I definitely think kind of a throwback kind of series would definitely work. Maybe it doesn't have to be Legends, but like a throwback series. I definitely think that would work because there's been a lot of good cards. Like 2021 Byron Buxton was really good. Obviously Eric Thames was really good. There's been a lot of versions of Mike Trout in the past that have been really good cards. I mean, there's a lot of cards I could think of that are just nostalgic cards that have been good in MLB The Show games. So definitely an interesting card series with the MLB The Show Legends. I'm not gonna lie, AI is kind of cooking up right now, I'm not gonna lie. Now this one I don't think would be in the game. This is the Speed Demon series. So the theme is cards purely based on speed and base running IQ. It says no 99 power, just chaos on the base path. So yeah, I don't think this one will come to the game. There's already a lot of fast players in the game, and they could just make cards that are fast. I don't think this one would be a thing, especially with the quirks. It says auto greenlight or faster steal animations. Yeah, no way that's gonna come to the game, honestly. And then it gives some examples. So yeah, this would kind of break the game, I'm not gonna lie, and I don't think a lot of people would like it. So yeah, this is kind of the first one I'm like, nah, AI did not cook with this idea. So the next one they have is clutch mode cards. Now this sounds a little bit interesting. It says players known for coming up in big spots trigger special bonuses in late innings or runs in scoring positions. This sounds kind of what we have in Showdown and Diamond Quest with the different perks you can get in certain situations. Yeah, I don't see this coming to Diamond Dynasty either. Kind of what they say too, like the NBA 2K takeover system. I don't think that really work in baseball or in MLB The Show, so I don't really see this one coming. I mean, it could definitely be a series, but no boosts. But yeah, I don't think this would come either, to be honest. Now the last one it did give me, now this is a really cool one, Franchise Forever series. One player from each franchise who stayed loyal or near loyal and became the face of the franchise. Definitely, I think they've definitely done this before in the past. Some of the examples was Joey Votto with the Reds, Joe Mauer with the Twins, Clayton Kershaw with the Dodgers, and Derek Jeter with the Yankees. And then team theme backgrounds or maybe signed uniforms. They've definitely hinted at something like this. I want to say it was in 23 or 22 they did something like this. I think it was a Team Affinity they did, and there was like a Franchise Forever series or something like that. I mean, I think maybe it was a Team Affinity. But they've definitely done something like this in the past before. Or maybe it was the 25 series. I'm not totally sure, but this idea has definitely been done. But what do you guys think about these 10 ideas that AI has come up with? A lot of them are pretty interesting. Some of them are actually pretty good. I think my favorite one has to be the Franchise Forever, but they might have done that already. The Out of Nowhere series I think could be really cool. I like the rivalry cards as well. I like the Childhood Heroes where the community could vote on cards as well. There's definitely some pretty good ones it came up with. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Have you guys asked AI to make some card series or any MLB The Show ideas? Because it actually comes up with some pretty good stuff. And definitely let me know what you guys think about these card series down below in the comment section. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.